Take it or break it. The following video is part of an investigative series for newcomers to the paranormal field as to the merits or not of specific paranormal research equipment available on the commercial market. Over the years of posting videos, we have answered many questions through email or comments as to our choices of equipment. Manufacturers of said equipment will have their own, possibly opposing, opinions. Stanjan Paranormal does not now, nor have we ever, manufactured paranormal equipment for the consumer market. Our reviews of equipment are opinions based upon our use of said equipment in the field and should not be misconstrued as scientific evidence. If available, our suggestion is to purchase American-built product over import to support American labor.
The device that we're testing today, an infrared construction thermometer that's used to measure air vents. These became popular to use on site in paranormal investigation, but does it work or does it not? Today we're going to find out. Here we are in my clean room. Actually, it's a garage. If I had a clean room, would I be doing videos on YouTube? This is okay though, because garages have been the foundation of some of the greatest discoveries there were. Hey, Bill Gates started in a garage. What we're going to do is we're discussing the usage of equipment because I get a lot of questions. Some of them on the site, a lot of them sent by email on people who are just starting out and they're wondering, does a certain piece of equipment work, does it not? They've seen it used on television and they're not certain whether it's valid or not. And we're going to go through this. I'm going to have a bunch of these and we're going to test a bunch of these pieces of equipment, see if they work. Now these videos are basically for beginners. If you're a seasoned investigator, if you're used to using equipment, you already know the answer to most of these, probably all of them, and you're not going to need to watch these. So beginners, let's start out. The first thing I'm going to discuss is this little gadget right here, which is an infrared thermometer. It used to be in the first television shows that came out, we saw these in use quite a bit. They'd walk around and they'd measure for cold spots in the room, especially on some of the major TV productions. They'd go everywhere and they start measuring to try to find out, is there a ghost here, is there a ghost there, is this atmosphere, the temperature colder than it is in another part of the building. So we're going to find out, can it actually measure ambient air, or does it have to have a surface to measure off of? These are about, I don't know, $35, they may be up to $50 on eBay, and I still see people carrying them. We're going to find out if it works or not, and we're going to put it through its tests right now. Now I chose this day to start doing these videos, this particular video anyway, because right now the temperature, I'm here in Las Vegas, by my indoor garage thermometer here, it says it's about 105 degrees, which means that we've cooled down somewhat from last week, because last week we were running in the 115 area, and it was just too hot for me to get out here and do this. So right now it's running 105 degrees as the ambient air temperature in this garage, which means we should be able to determine real easy if this thing is going to detect a cold spot or not. And here is going to be my ambient air cold air generator. It's a portable air conditioning window unit that I pulled out of one of my windows. I replaced it with a bigger unit. It still works just fine, and we're going to power it up, we're going to let it cool down, and we're going to take some temperatures, and we're going to find if this thermometer does what they claim that it's going to do. So we can see as I focus the beam on it right now that it is 100 degrees and the unit is going to start cooling down. It should get down to around 70 somewhere in there, and it's going to take it about 10 minutes or so to cool down. But you can see that right now it's hot, and when it turns cold you'll know that it's working properly. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes now. I moved the infrared thermometer here around so that you could actually see that the red light is actually going inside of the unit itself. And right now the temperature is down to 72 degrees after about 10 minutes, so we need to let it drop a little bit further than that. We'll be right back. So it's been a little while, a little bit longer than 10 minutes. It's pretty hot out here. So right now I'm looking at we're down to, it actually went down to 68. There's 69. I focused the beam inside there now. We can see that the temperature is at 68. I know that's as far down as it's going to go for this older unit. So now I'm going to put it in the configuration. We're going to test. This is the air that's coming out of this unit right here, 68 degrees in this 105 degree room. Let's find out which one it will pick up. This is going to be our testing environment. I closed the garage door because I know that the panels, there's steel panels on the garage door, and they're going to be hotter than the temperature that's actually in the garage itself, and I think that's going to be a good surface to test this on. Let's see what we're looking at here. We shine this on the door there. and we can see it's running 108 degrees. 108 degrees on the door right there, which is pretty high up. And by the way, this laser pointer here that I think you can probably see it going on the door over there is only for sighting. It has nothing to do with measuring the actual temperature of anything. In fact, some of these you can actually turn that off, but then you won't know exactly where you're measuring to get the temperature from. So this is going to be a very simple test. In fact, actually, now that I closed the garage door, we can see it went down quite a bit further because the hot air isn't actually blowing on the unit itself. We're actually down to 62, 63 degrees here, as we can see it hitting the air thing that's coming out right there. And what I'm going to do is very, very simple. We're going to swing this around here, and we're going to see that the temperature on the doors is still running 106 degrees. And as I bring this down, directly in front of the air coming out of the unit, it should change. It should change. You can see the light right there. And guess what? It didn't change at all. It's still reading 106 degrees, which means that this item is a brake item. Brake meaning put the brakes on it. Don't take it. Don't buy one. Don't take it with you. The only reason that I could see that you might want to use this item is if you're a seasoned investigator, you've been detecting cold spots in some place that you've been before, and you want to determine if it actually is the insulation in the walls, because that's the only thing you can measure with this thermometer, is how strong the insulation is in the walls being insulated from the outside temperatures. So that's a good little test. I turned the air conditioner back around so it's hitting my back because it's really hot in here. These things we used to take with us. We didn't know any different, just like watching the television shows. They were using them there. We thought we had to use them also. And when we found something that was a little bit unusual in the room, we were like, yeah, it looks like we're picking something up. It's hot over here, it's cold over there. Little did we know that we were only measuring the walls of the room. This is not something you want to take with you. Not only can you use that 50 bucks or whatever it costs on something else, but it's got some pretty good dimensions to it. It doesn't have much weight, but if you're like us, and we fly where we go, we have to be very careful about the weight in our luggage, because usually they have a certain amount of weight that they will allow on an airline, and that's it. If you go an ounce over, they're going to charge you an extra fee for luggage, and we don't want that. We definitely don't want it because our equipment is heavy. Also in this space, we could use a couple of audio recorders. That's about the same size that fit in there, something that we are going to use. So this device here, put the brakes on. You don't need it.
Non-contact digital infrared thermometer guns will not detect floating cold spots in a confined area. Our advice, put the brakes on this item.